What's up, guys? So I've got a really special video for you that I'm going to upload right now. This is going to be a 4-part series of optimizing a paid student's Facebook paid ads, so PPC, and helping him optimize his ad creative, ad copy, targeting, and basically everything to do with paid Facebook ads. And then if you stay tuned to watch every single part, like all 4 parts that I'm going to drop over the next couple of days, then we start getting into like keyword research and how to actually find the most profitable keywords ever. And then a super fail-proof apartment locator paid ad strategy that I've never really even talked about in any other YouTube video. So it is very, very valuable. I usually do not do phone consults just because I would have to charge an outrageous amount for it to be worth my time, is how I feel. That's why I like to instead just do live coaching calls every 2 weeks for all of my paid students at once. That way everyone can learn and it's more efficient and I don't have to charge people like an insane amount per hour. But I did make an exception with this student because he is an old school student, invested in my program a couple years ago, took the entire course and implemented, and literally went from being a bartender to entering real estate, having a really hard time as a realtor, took my course, and then has been doing 6 figures the last couple of years with only apartment locating. So it was actually a really, really awesome success story. And after a couple years of making 6 figures, he was finally getting into starting to reinvest a lot of his profits into paid ads to scale his apartment locator business after he has expanded his team with a couple more team members, right? So super proud of this student, and it really goes to show how you can just have like 0 real estate experience and then hit 6 figures with just apartment locating. And even if you wanted to advance and do other things in real estate like sell homes, whether it's new home or resale, etc., then it still makes sense to start with apartment locating because you build an awesome clientele of so many people, especially right now with what's going on in late 2022, right? Rental activity is actually increasing, mortgage rates are increasing, and then there's less inventory on the market. Even though more is coming back, there's still less than there was like 2 years ago. So with what's going on right now, rental activity is going crazy. There hasn't been a better time to be an apartment locator, in my opinion, and it just makes sense to build a quick clientele and then release that old clientele another apartment and then earn more commission, or then help them buy a house, because that's what everyone does after their apartment is buy a house. You don't just move out and buy a house, right? You usually move out of your parents' house, rent an apartment, save money, advance in your career, and then buy a house, right? So whether or not you are interested in selling homes or just sticking with apartment locating full time because it is relatively easier, it just makes sense for everyone starting as a real estate agent. So in this video, you can pretty much expect to learn a lot of new things, a lot of paid ads for locators, which is super niche down. Because running paid ads for different businesses is different. You take a whole different approach, right? So I'm going to show you how to run paid Facebook ads and Google ads and bid for keywords and a new strategy for apartment locators. So this is totally relevant for you if you're in real estate or in the industry or are considering becoming an apartment locator, right? So instead of paying me $1,000 an hour to do a phone call like this with me, you get to just listen to one for free, right? So I hope you guys appreciate that. If you do, please give this video a like. This took a lot of work to do and then also to edit down. So hope you guys appreciate it, but I'm just going to upload over the next few days, part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. And if you've never finished an entire YouTube video on my channel, this is a 4-part series you absolutely do not want to miss, because there's tons of golden nuggets and it can literally take your business to the next level with paid ads for apartment locating. So don't miss this. So let's get started. Yeah, I'm live on Facebook. They make all these changes, man. That's why running paid ads, like, you really do have to stay organized. So I'm going to show you how to stay organized on Trello and share with you what I use for my own paid ad campaigns, Alex. So it'll be nice and organized. And yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's just a known thing about Facebook. Like they'll just make changes every 2 weeks and move a button from here to here, and it just it's really annoying whenever they do that. And then you'll learn the new, like, where everything is again, and then 2 weeks later again they'll change things. So like that's what I'm dealing with right now. But if you do use and leverage Facebook ads well, it's all worth the struggle anyways. So this is my Trello board. Do you see the blue Trello board, Alex?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, this is how I organize everything with my team when I run paid ads. So it's like, as you can see, it's like you got main categories above on the lists, and then each card is like things that you actually do or think about. So you've got like your funnel and videos, And then targeting, you've got retargeting, that'll be important too. I'll explain that. And then questions. So if my team ever has questions or vice versa, then there's a little questions list right there as well. You know, when I was first making the masterclass, Alex, it was never really meant to be a Facebook ads course because you can buy entire programs over that. But I did see the value in paid ads, so I wanted to run through, because you're a student, you know, I run you through marketing objectives that have worked very well for me as a locator, but it's not a comprehensive entire course. So in module 4, I think there's like 4 marketing objectives I walk you through that have worked well as a locator. But I didn't really share like the structure and organizing like this. Or the finer details with paid ads. So that's one of the things I'm going to update in the course as well. But I'm just going to do this for you live, and hopefully this will hold everyone over for the meantime until I update the course in the future. Yeah. That sucks, man. I was trying to show everyone your pretty face, Alex.
What about you?
Can you, on your side, can you request to jump on the live or no?
I don't think so.
That's okay. I guess we'll just have to do it this way. Facebook just made a change, guys, like as of a couple weeks ago, again, to their live interface. That's why we're struggling right now. This was different before. But anyways, I guess we'll go from here because they can hear me and they can at least see my screen. So the first thing you should do, man, is I can share this Trello board with you, but if you look on here, I try to organize everything that's necessary for paid ads, because when you start getting into paid ads, man, it's a whole entire beast of a business in itself. So it's not something I recommend to beginners. And what I would recommend is, you know, have a couple $1,000s you can light on fire, and then your life won't like fall apart to burn with paid ads as a budget before you start running paid ads. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, usually what has worked well for a lot of digital marketers is whenever we run ads, we fund them for a minimum of 3 days each, because it gives enough time to build data so you can actually make data-driven decisions and scale things. So, because if you just run an ad for 2 days and it's not profitable, that's not long enough. Sometimes the next day it hits off, and then you get much more activity. You know, because people behave differently. So 3 days is usually the minimum amount of time you should fund an ad for. So what's worked well for me is like $20 a day for 3 days each ad. But the thing with paid ads is that it never really goes how you think it's going to go. So you'll make 10 ad creatives, like 10 ad videos, and the ones that you think are great always suck. And then the ones that you think you didn't do so good always end up being your top performers. So what usually happens for me is that I will make 10 ads and run them, and six of them will fail, and like they're just not that profitable. The lead acquisition is really high, or you know, no one really, it's just way too expensive for the activity. And then 4 of them will be really good, like low cost per lead and scalable. You know, so. That's usually how it goes, but I will share this with you, and I like to organize things like this. So like billing, the reason I have billing on here as a card is because once you start scaling and spending a lot of money with paid ads, Facebook's so unreliable with, like, sometimes you'll run an ad and like accidentally talk about money, and then they'll flag your account. So when you're putting a lot of money into paid ads the way I have before, you don't really want to give Facebook the chance to shut you down for a mistake. So what I do is, what I've thought of and what I've learned from other people is, I like attach a different credit card in a different business manager account, and have like a backup account or two. So if Facebook shuts me down by accident, then I'll just post those ads and those campaigns and just migrate them into another account with another credit card. Just you know, because you don't want all your marketing to end at once. So that's why I have that billing section there. And so it just keeps everything organized with accounts and credit cards. A lot of this you won't need though, so don't get so intimidated, because I run a lot of this with like Locator leads and the promotion of my program, so it probably looks a little bit more filled out than what it should be. I'll send this over to you and then structure it like all you would need. Are you using the sales funnel that I gave you as a student, or are you using your own website?
We're using a website.
I got you. So whatever your site is, I throw that in here. So funnels and videos. What if it's a sales funnel or a website you're using, or if you're testing them? I like to organize that there. And then targeting is, these are some of the questions that are probably good to ask. So it's like, who's your ideal customer? New real estate agents making less than 75K a year looking to get into. It's good to write. It's good to come through these questions and write them all down and just stay organized, because it gives you and your team an idea of the clients you want to target. And then what is their age? This I don't think matters as much anymore because of the special ads category restriction on Facebook, which is why the last thing the advice I'm going to give you on what to do starting off later in this call, you'll understand why I'm going to give you that advice, because Facebook changed a lot of things with their special ads category, which that's not a really big deal, but the latest iOS update that happened makes targeting a lot harder on Facebook ads if you're just doing Facebook ads. Because if you've noticed, man, like, you have an iPhone, don't you? So you know how whenever you download apps now, the pop-up will come up and it'll be like, will you allow this app to track you online? Do you know the pop-up? Yeah, so they made that a thing where it's a pop-up. So in order to be able to track people on their iPhones and the apps they use and the websites they visit, is now a pop-up. And the first thing, like, naturally that people do when they see a weird pop-up talking about tracking them is hit no. Right, so now because they hit no, Facebook won't let you target them in certain ways. So that's kind of it's kind of an issue with running paid ads with such a niche business like apartment locating. Because if you understand our clientele, the leads we're trying to attract are only they're only relevant to us, or we only care about the leads that want to move into an apartment like 2 months in advance. So like those are where the sales will come in, is people that are actually looking to rent an apartment immediately, not like a year from now, because they're just going to click your ad and you're going to pay for it, and then nothing's going to happen. So some companies run cheap marketing objectives like brand awareness, and they just like to market like on a year-round basis. But when you're first starting off, like you or I, like a solo agent, you don't care about brand awareness campaigns. You're just trying to run ads and make money, So you've got to keep that in mind as well. It's just with Facebook's changes to iOS update, we have to target and be even smarter with our targeting, and even smarter with our approach. So let's get into how I've been doing that as an apartment locator better. I like to put locations here as well. Like, look, when I was targeting core sales, like, look what I did: Texas, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, Tennessee, Georgia, California. Like, those were, out of running ads around the whole United States, those were my most profitable states. Isn't that funny? So I have all of that right here. Hyper targeted, quick wins. So it's good to have this with your team too, because you might run. I mean, what I recommend is start running ads in the one city that you're most familiar with. But I mean, some of my other students have bigger teams, and they run ads like in all 3 or 4 major states in their city, and that's okay. But you're going to need more of a bigger budget to do that. And then you look at data. It's almost smarter for us as a solo agent to stick with one city, because there's less testing and less optimizing that you have to do. Like, when you start with a whole entire state and run paid ads, you can do that, but you're going to go through a lot more budget. So like, unless you have like 50 grand in ads to see all the data and then start pausing things later, it's going to take a really big budget and time. So if you're just trying to just quickly increase your income and lease more in the city that you're locating in, then I would just start with one city. So really the location should be quite easy as an apartment locator. Like, I would just start with your one profitable city, maybe 2, and that's it. So while we're talking about targeting and everything, let me get access to your team viewer if you're ready for that, so I can look around in your. Okay, cool. Let me look around in that. Yeah, what's your partner ID? Cool, man. We did that. We're getting through it. All this is worth it in the. It's all worth it in the end when you make 3 times the amount of money, and like your lead gen's awesome.
We would like that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. I'm using my laptop to look at your laptop to look at your live to look at myself again. All right. Let's see. I'm in. Let's go ahead and make this bigger. All right, you're in business.facebook.com. That's good, dude. Some people, I've helped students, and they run ads like they're just personally promoting it, and it's not even Business Manager. So like, so that's good. It's good that you set it up right. It looks like y'all paid attention in the course. All right, so business.facebook.com, good. And let's see on here, where are let's see your campaigns. Cool, you got one campaign going here. You've got an ad set. And then within that ad set, you've got an ad. All right, so you're just running one ad?
We just did one like a couple weeks ago just to kind of feel it out, and it just didn't do well.
I see.
I run 10. As far as the targeting goes,
Yeah.
I just think that it probably did something wrong. Like, I didn't even get a click into the sheet, into the landing page.
Yeah, I feel you, man. So the thing is, you have to run 10 though, or like at least 6, because it's like, yeah, I've had some. I'm telling you, man, I filmed some amazing ads, and like it was like the worst performing. It was like losing me. So like you have to run at least 6 if you don't want to do 10, and like fund them all at $20 for 3 days. So like that's like, what is that? 10 ads times $60 total. It will be anywhere from like $350 to $600 would be like the proper investment to get started. Yeah, you got to do that. But let's look at your targeting though. First, let me see how you set this up in the ad set level. Let's go ahead and do edit, and then let's check you out here. Okay, cool. And you got Austin 25 miles locating landing page views, Facebook, Instagram impressions. Oh, you're doing Facebook and Instagram in the same ad?
So, Eric, the reason why we had to add IG to it, I think we did because the targeting, if I didn't put IG in it, it wouldn't let me run the ad because apparently like Facebook didn't have enough impressions or viewers to send it to.
Yeah, that's your budget. I'll look at your budget here in a second too. Yeah, you need impressions or not, it won't let you run it. Facebook's like, this isn't worth it for me. Another reason that if you want to, like, let me see your budget. Hold on, before I answer that. Let me see what your budget was.
$25 a day for 7 days.
Yeah, I see it. I would not suggest to run it like that again with one ad, but so $25 a day for 7 days. Yeah, if you would have done 6 at $20 or 10 at $20, like I recommended, that'd have been enough impressions overall too. The thing is, when you start with 10 too, guys, it's like it tells Facebook like, hey, like we're doing 10 ads at a much bigger budget, so that it's like they want to give you more impressions. Sometimes there's like a myth in digital marketing where sometimes if you just run ads at bare minimum budget, they'll still run your ad a very minimal budget out because they still want your money, but it's like they give you very bare minimum impressions because they know that you're just small. When you give Facebook more of a reason and more of a budget, it's like they like reward you for starting with a bigger budget is what I'm trying to say. It's like a myth that like hasn't really been officially approved, but like a lot of digital marketers that I interact with say that they're like, if you start with a bigger budget on Facebook, they're just like, it gives them an incentive to put your ad out there and give you more impressions. So that's why like I like to start with 10 always at $20 because you know it's just slightly more than their minimum required, and then I just feel better about getting impressions that way. So that's why another reason I recommend that. But let me continue looking at the way you targeted all of this here. Optimize ad for landing page views. Well, that's good. So you optimized it right. Cost per result, you don't know yet. Let me show more options here. When you get charged, impressions. Let's see if you can edit that. Oh, it won't let you edit. Another thing, guys, is when you start with a low budget, sometimes this gets restricted. No one really knows when you can change this to link clicks because as a locator, obviously, it's really, really cool for us to change that to link clicks, like when you get charged link clicks. At that point, it's just we're going to do so much better. It's such an advantage because when you make an ad creative, you can tell people right off the bat, like, hey, if you're looking to rent an apartment within 60 days, click the link below. But if you're not, then just don't even listen to this ad. I actually say that in my ads. You won't even get charged when people hear that if they don't click. But it's like when you first start off, Facebook, like it's like everything's like unlocked. Facebook's like you have to build a relationship with them. So the more ads you run and the more budget you put in, sometimes this gets unlocked and you can change it to link clicks. When I was at Lifetime Fitness, my gym, I ran into a big Facebook ad agency guy, and this dude spent like $200,000 a month per client and had like 20 clients. So he was doing like millions of dollars a month in paid ads for his clients because it was their money. That's how he scaled that high. And he was telling me, he's like, when you do 4 million in paid ads, Facebook reaches out, like almost like it's like a black card credit card, and Facebook reaches out and they give you an account executive. Like you don't even have to ask; it's like an invite, and then he confirmed that they let you change this however you see fit. Like you can go from impressions to link click like whenever you want because you've spent enough money. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. It's awesome. No, the threshold to get campaigns per click.
Yeah, it's like at 4 million, like you get like an account executive, and but the point is, I mean, hey, we're not going to spend 4 million in paid ads as locators. But the thing I'm trying to say is, the more when you start off with more ads, more budget, Facebook will reward you with more impressions, which helps your ad goal become more profitable. And then sometimes when you keep running paid ads, you might be able to do what I'm able to do now, and change that to link clicks. So it's not a big deal breaker. We can still make money with impressions, but it's just cool to know that and be able to toggle back and forth once you start funding ads. So let's continue. Did that make sense though? I just wanted to bring that up before I forgot to talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, now let me go on to the audience here. So let's see what you did for your audiences. Create new audience, search existing audience. So you did, let me hit edit and see what you did here. Austin, Texas city. Okay, good. 25 miles. Yeah, okay. So you're running paid ads in Austin. Got you. Man, this is set up good. You know, you're just getting a little campaign going and just targeting 25 miles around Austin. Did you guys select special ad category or no?
Yes, we had to. Is there a way around that?
Yeah, there really is, man. But they look at your ad. The reason you can get away, like sometimes I've gotten away without selecting special ad category, and that's because I made sure my ad creative, like my video and my ad copy, didn't say. I cherry picked my words where it was like I wasn't talking that much about real estate, and then it worked. But
Watch it.
yeah, they check your ad copy, and then they check because it goes to like approval whenever you send off ads, and they check your copy mainly and your creative to see like what you're actually talking about. And sometimes you can push it through without special ads category. But honestly, man, I'm just not going to recommend doing that. I've spent so much money on Facebook ads, and I like to split test stuff that I like to test everything, but it doesn't make that big of a difference just selecting special ad category. As an apartment locator, the way you're targeting just Austin, 25 miles, you don't, I mean, dude, people lease apartments that are 60 years old and 20, and it's always split in half. It's always men and women. So this doesn't matter too much. This only matters for companies like if you were like a women's skincare line, and it's like then you want to select women or not, you're going to spend half your budget on men. So that's why like running paid ads as a locator has been the easiest paid ads setup I've ever done in all of my career running paid ads. Like I used to run for skincare companies because I had one, and as a traditional realtor, but as a locator it's easy because the genders are already split in half, so we don't even care about gender. The ages is such a large range, we don't even care about age. So special ad category doesn't even hold you back really as a locator. It's actually really cool. Let me continue though. You got placements, manual placements. All right, good. Hey, you looked over you finished module 4, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Yeah, don't ever do automatic with Facebook ads. I would always recommend manual, and then just doing like feed, and then this is how you run Instagram ads. You just select Instagram, but I do that. Like I will do a whole nother ad set. Like if you look above, we're in the ad set level right now. You know, you got your campaign, your ad set, and then your ads. It's just a way to organize everything. But I will duplicate and do a whole new ad set whenever I run Instagram ads, because Instagram is a completely different platform in my opinion than Facebook. So I don't commingle things. You know what I mean? It's just like a younger for me it's like a younger demographic on Instagram, and I just like to separate this. So if you are testing Instagram ads, just either duplicate a whole new campaign that's dedicated to Instagram or a whole new ad set. Just wanted to make that clear.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick comment on if you scroll up, it says interest, apartments.com, realtor.com, interest, and then like we chose like 4 or 5 different interests. Tried to add like they have to like this, and they have to like this other one. When I try to put an and in it,
yeah,
the audience size shrunk so much, and it wouldn't allow it. I'm kind of surprised because I thought 25 miles in Austin that the ad would be fine. I thought, but
whenever you're talking about staggering your targeting, so that's like hyper targeting. Now, if you look at, let me see that, it's blurry on my side. Sorry, I'm on TeamViewer. That's the next thing I should have talked about. Where is it? See, detailed. Yeah, you're talking about detailed targeting. It's right here. Let me look at that. Actually, that's the next thing I was going to talk about anyhow, right before you. So I see your detailed targeting now. So you're targeting Austin 25 miles. You're talking about the right-hand side where the total reach will shrink, right? And you're saying that it's becoming too small that they won't let you run the ad, right? So when that happens, you need to choose a broader initial interest, and then not stagger as much. Let me see everything you chose though, so I can put this into perspective.
renters insurance, rent.com, apartments.com, apartment list. Do you see that?
Yeah, but those are fine if they're all like not before the and. Like you don't want to stagger all of those against each other. For some reason I can't see your additional interest. Oh, there they are. Apartment guide, apartment list, apartments.com. Good. I see you got this from the course. That all these recommendations, right? The rent.com, renters insurance. Yeah, this is good. Wow, what's the problem? You're saying you left it like this, right? You didn't add anything.
When we try to narrow the audience down, that selection, it says, okay, everybody, anybody who likes that, they also have to like, and then an additional interest. And when I do the additional interest, when you narrow the audience, the audience size becomes so small because I wanted to do and apartments.com. So they can like apartments, rent.com, but they also have to like apartments.com.
Yeah, you're trying to get more detailed. It's okay. If it's too small, it's too small. I mean, you just listen to Facebook. There's nothing you can do if the audience is too small. You can trust Facebook with the audience sizes. That's fine. And you're saying it just got so small that they wouldn't let you run the ad, right?
Yeah.
So then you just remove an interest from above. I mean, at that point you just pay attention to Facebook. There's no other way to do it. So then you would just the thing is some leads, like they don't necessarily go to these sites and then like each of them. So it's like with apartment locating and people renting apartments, you can't like target and hyper target that much with staggering, because it's already very niche. And then a lot, like, you have leads that rent apartments that like don't use Facebook, or if they do use Facebook, it's like to talk to family and not necessarily to go to these websites. So I would just keep it general the way you did. Like all of this stuff is really good for targeting, like apartment guide, apartment list, apartments.com, rent.com, renters insurance. This is all perfectly fine. I wouldn't go any further if Facebook's not allowing you to. And at this point, man, I think you did a really good job with your interest. I wouldn't change anything there, really. The only way I would do what you try to do and add another hyper targeting step, is if you were running ads with a bigger budget, like all over multiple cities, or just in a wider range, and then just at a bigger budget. Then you could do that, but there's no need to do that. Like, this isn't the reason your ad didn't work. So
you're saying that you wouldn't use and or anything. You would do like 5 different interests, like all the ones that we put, and not put and, because I felt like we just limited ourselves when we put and, probably. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good because you get more targeted that way, but you don't need that much targeting with apartment locator ads, man. I've just been doing this for too long. I've never found a lot of value with stacking like that so much and hyper targeting. I wouldn't change anything from here. What I'm trying to say is you only need one level of detailed targeting as a locator. Like, this stuff is fine. When you put these interests inside of detailed targeting, though, just try to add as many as you can on one level. Like rooms to go would be like a good one as well. Because if someone uses Facebook and they like rooms to go, but that's the only thing they liked, you couldn't even give them an ad because they didn't select the rest of the stuff. So I would add things like that. But man, this is still fine though. That was just some advice for you, but it's not like you did anything wrong on this level. This will still work. All of this is still fine. I would add other relevant things and make your audience a little bit bigger, but honestly, man, you didn't do anything wrong here. Good job on the setup. Let me continue on now. and I just wanted to go through your entire setup and see how you did it, so I could see if anything was set up wrong just right off the bat. But everything's looking good here. You selected your feed, messenger inbox. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Okay, and then what else? Marketplace. Did you select Marketplace? That would probably be a good thing to do. Facebook. Yeah, select Facebook Marketplace because it's free to do that and it'll only charge you. So I would just like select that as well. Those are the two that I do. Like Marketplace, you don't get charged on, but if you do a sponsored ad inside of Marketplace, it's like little to no cost. Like a lot of renters hang out there, so I would do feed and Marketplace together, and then that's it. I just selected that for you. It looks like this is all good. Yeah, man, you set this up well. Usually when things go wrong and you don't get leads at a good cost, it's your ad creative, man. I just wanted to make sure your setup was not like awful. Like if you were targeting in like Denver or something like in a wrong city or something crazy. But like, you know, so you'll be surprised though. Sometimes you'll check something off because, hey, have you noticed that this is really glitchy whenever you make changes and hit save? Like sometimes it throws off your data and you got to redo it. Have y'all noticed how glitchy Manager is? It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, so let's get out of here and talk about your ad, which is what matters. Let me look at your campaign level targeting real quick. Housing, United States, how to clear this category work, special ad category requirements, budget, A/B test. That can go later. What's cool is like if you have a lot of ad videos too, like when you do 10 at once, you don't have to go through this whole entire process again. They have an A/B test section here where you can just like choose that and then upload all your ads at once, and Facebook will like give you options on evenly distributing your budget to all of them. It's actually really cool when you set up multiple ads in the way that I would suggest. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, so now it's all about your ad. Your location and your targeting is perfect. There's nothing you did wrong there at all. The two critical things now, and the things that usually will make or break your marketing goals on paid ads and determine if you're profitable or not, what I strongly believe is your ad creative and then where they go, like your landing page for sure, like what your call to action is. So those are really the two biggest things that I wanted to look over for you to see what's going on. Are you taking notes, Alex, somehow?